Bill Shorten, thanks for your time.
It's very good to be with you on the program, Brian, and good evening.
Let me just go through some concerns, if I may, being expressed by Australians at the moment.
Concerns expressed by who, Brian?
By Australians.
Really? No one said anything to me.
One of the things that comes through is the way that people feel about the state of politics in this country. A lot of people think it's a waste of time.
They think what's a waste of time?
Government.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate, Brian. That's close to a crisis of confidence. I mean, our political system may not be the perfect system, Brian, but it's the best one we've got.
OK, Bill Shorten, well, let's just go through some of those concerns if we could. Maybe you can tell me how you do things differently.
Differently from what?
Well, from the government.
Brian, we're trying to be the government.
Yes, but you'd be different, wouldn't you?
In what way?
Well, that's the question.
Well, we'd govern, for a start, Brian. I mean, we wouldn't have paralysis by analysis. We wouldn't have an election just because Malcolm wants...
What would you do?
Well, we got a whole range of policies coming out, Brian, and we'll be announcing those over time.
OK, Bill Shorten, let's just go through some of the issues and you can tell me how you deal with them.
Brian, yes.
OK, climate change?
Well, are they hopeless on climate? They would be the worst government in the world on climate. I can't think of a worse government.
What would you do?
Well, we'd make a much better fist of this, Brian. For example, we would be encouraging the renewables industry.
Would you have kept funding the car industry, for example, provided they were producing cars that ran on renewable energy?
No, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, but would you do it?
Well, we haven't announced our policy yet, Brian.
Bill Shorten, you just said it was a good idea.
Yes, I know I did, Brian, but we might bring it in anyway.
OK, asylum seekers. There's a lot of concern about Australia's treatment.
We would make a much better job of that. We would make a much better job of that. At doing all those things that people are so concerned about, Brian. That's what we did in office. We stand by our record. We would do it again.
Taxation reform?
We would get onto that. First thing.
How would you do it?
By 10 o'clock on the first
morning. How would you do it?
We wouldn't be doing it by putting the GST up,
I don't want to know how you wouldn't be doing it,
And we wouldn't be doing
it,
Brian, by giving companies a tax break.
I don't want to know how you... Bill Shorten, I do not want to know how you wouldn't be doing it.
We would not be gift wrapping it and throwing it at the states and saying, we give up.
How would you be doing it, Bill Shorten?
We haven't announced our policy, Brian. We're thinking about that now.
Have you spoken to David Feeney?
Yes, I speak to David all the time, Brian, yeah.
And I ask you what you said?
Well, he's a numbers man, Brian. I was just asking how we were going with the Amalgamated Shoplifters and Residential Property Amnesia Society, because he's a founder member of both those organisations.
And what did he say?
I can't remember, Brian.